Imagine waking up in ancient Rome. There are no alarms ringing beside your bed. No phone waiting for notifications. No traffic report telling you how long the morning commute will take. Instead, there is sunlight. Somewhere outside, a cart rolls slowly over stone streets. A shopkeeper opens a wooden door. Someone nearby is sweeping dust from a doorway, even though the dust will probably return before breakfast. It is an ordinary morning in Rome. And that is exactly what we are interested in. Not emperors, not famous battles, not dramatic assassinations, just an ordinary day. Rome was one of the largest and busiest cities of the ancient world, but most people living there were not spending their mornings making history. They were buying bread, carrying water, going to work, arguing with neighbors, repairing things, eating meals, and trying to get through another perfectly normal day. So, for the next 20 minutes, let us forget about the exciting parts of Roman history. We are simply going to spend a quiet, rather boring day in ancient Rome. Morning. The day begins early. Most people do not have the luxury of sleeping until late morning. Sunlight is useful, and artificial lighting is expensive and inconvenient. So when the sky becomes bright, the city begins to wake. The first sounds are probably not particularly dramatic. There are footsteps, doors opening, animals moving around, people talking, and, eventually, the sounds of businesses beginning their daily routines. Roman homes vary greatly. Wealthy Romans might live in large houses called domus, with courtyards, decorated rooms, fountains, and servants. Many ordinary people, however, live in apartment buildings called insulae. These buildings can be several stories high. The lower floors are generally more desirable, while the upper floors can be cramped and uncomfortable. So if you are living several floors above the street, your morning might begin with a long walk down a staircase. There is no elevator. There is also no particularly good reason to hurry. Once outside, you enter the streets of Rome. The streets are busy. Rome has a huge population, and people are constantly moving around. Workers head toward shops and workshops. Merchants prepare their goods. Customers look for breakfast. Children move through the streets. Animals wander around. And somewhere nearby, someone is probably complaining about the noise. Romans actually had plenty of reasons to complain about noise. The streets could become extremely busy, especially during the daytime. Carts carried supplies through the city. People shouted to attract customers. Workers hammered and repaired things. And because Rome was built long before modern ideas about traffic control and urban planning, the city could be surprisingly chaotic. Still, this is normal. Nobody wakes up thinking, "What an incredibly historical morning." To the people living there, it is simply Tuesday. Or Wednesday. Or whichever day happens to be. Breakfast in ancient Rome is not usually a huge event. A simple meal might include bread, olives, fruit, cheese, or leftovers. For many people, food is practical. There is work to do. A baker has bread to make. A metal worker has tools to repair. A shopkeeper has customers waiting. A laborer may need to carry heavy objects. So breakfast is less about sitting around for an hour and more about eating enough to begin the day. Bread is especially important. Wheat is a major part of the Roman diet, and bread is everywhere. For wealthy families, meals can be much more varied. They can afford meat, fish, expensive spices, imported foods, and elaborate dishes. But the average Roman is not eating an extravagant banquet every morning. Most people are simply eating something filling. And then they go to work. Going to work in ancient Rome is extremely varied. There are farmers, builders, carpenters, potters, blacksmiths, shopkeepers, sailors, teachers, doctors, administrators, messengers, and countless other occupations. The city depends on all of them. If you walk through Rome, you might see small shops opening along the streets. Some sell food, some sell clothing, some sell pottery,